and then consider these arrows, the directions, as additional things to test. Then you're safe. Then you, whatever it turns out, because that's the purpose of doing the experiment, is to find out how it actually works.
Remember, you and I talked about path analysis, which can incorporate exactly these kind of things. That's something I'm just introducing to the multivariate start this time.
What?
We now have the software.
You don't have the software?
No, we do have, and it's a pain in the neck.
As it always is. So make sure, make sure you get some demographics. Yeah.
And keep in mind, just, basic things like cognitive dissonance would say that something about how you're actively involved and, adjust your psychological state rather than vice versa. So keep in mind that arrows can go in different directions.
Yeah, that was a very good refinement right there.
Thank you.
Try to wrap the slides in another 15 minutes.
Okay.
I want to reserve time for this committee to keep on passing.
So the contribution would basically experimental testing of the research claim in order to determine if virtual world possesses the necessary tools to foster effective learning group collaboration.
Well, I would quibble with your wording. Because you're not really, at least you haven't told me that you're doing any testing of tools, of different features of the virtual environment. What you're doing is, if virtual tools foster more effective e-learning, no, it's not even e-learning. I mean, what you want to me, what you're trying to test is, does a virtual world environment foster more effective group collaboration than these other treatments? And your explanation for why you believe that that's going to be the case is because of these psychological constructs of engagement and presence and how the virtual world makes those stronger.
Katherine, let me add one more thing, which is a tremendous help when you do these kind of things. As you go through your questionnaire, try to assign your questions to one of all those things at a time. You cannot have been assigned to two of them. It's illogical, right? So, as you have your questionnaire, which you do have now, start feeding those things with those questions, all right? So here are, you can make those ovals, for example. That's the path analysis indication. You can make little squares, all of those feeding into those, whatever they are. Each one has its own. So all of those are questions. Question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4, etc. If you assign all of those questions to these, then you achieve what we said earlier, and you see where your questionnaire is weaker and which other where you need to add questions, because anything less than 3-4 questions in each of those, it's inadequate. And this is bare minimum. Okay?
3 or 4 questions on each of the circles.
Right.
And the arrows?
The arrows are presumed paths of interaction between those.
Okay, so there's no question particularly for the arrows.
Well, there are. Which one of those has it's an effect? Now, what it's hard to distinguish is the cause and effect, right?
So the research design.
So you got my how to change your research question?
Yes.
But
I agree.
virtual environments foster lead to higher group collaboration through higher levels of engagement and presence. Something like that.
So it doesn't on the previous slide. The research design, my research study, it will be the College of Business Administration at the University of Puerto Rico Research Campus, and the population will be the students admitted to the College of Business Administration at the UPR Research Campus who meet the curriculum requirements for taking the COI Computerized Information Systems Introduction 3211 or Introduction course. The sample will be the studies that are enrolled in the 4 sections that are assigned to me during this semester and next semester. The sample size will be of at least 100 students. A simple random sample will be used to select one of the 4 sections will be face-to-face. The other 3 groups of students will be randomly distributed among the the other two learning environments. And each streamer will have approximately 25 students in each. The research will be developed to provide a study of the students' sense of group presence within the learning environment that they use and their performance in different collaborative tests.
Let me ask you a question. In your research setting, is it going to be in one session? Is it going to be in 2 sessions? Is it going to be, I mean, when are you going to actually run the experiment?
It's going to be one session. It's going to
Okay.
be on the spring semester. This semester.
One 3-hour session.
Oh, no. Various sessions. It's going to be various sessions because I'm going to give them...
Session versus section.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going to give them 4 different tests.
Okay.
And they also have to be throughout the semester 4 different tests.
So how many sessions, how many meetings?
For the particular
Each
test,
task, yeah?
1 for each test. One session for each test.
And it's done in each class meeting, each weekly class meeting.
Now, there is a concern which I have not been convinced yet. Those tests would not be identical for each of those sections.
Oh, yeah. I decided that they will be identical.
Oh,
Well,
good.
they need to be
Yeah.
there.
That's what I
Oh, they have to be identical.
there for a long time. I'm glad we said.
Yeah. Otherwise, they will be comparable. They have to be the same.
Do you have an idea what those tasks will be?
I'm still designing because I want to make them that have to do with the concept of the code, not just interacting with
How
the
do you-
environment.
Do you have a sense of how you're going to choose? Because the choice of task
Well,
is going to be critical in terms of getting them to react.
I'm trying to start with basic objective tasks. You know, that you just have like a puzzle, like a crossword or something like that. Then increasing the difficulty of the task. You know, 4 different types of tasks also incorporated so that we can also test if the different.
I would
So
go.
just given 4 tasks that are basically the same, just different concepts, it will be kind of boring for the student and could affect the result.
As we go through all of those details now, it seems more likely that you will have to do it more than once. As we talked before, a pilot study, that you will divide those things, you see, you are not sure that the tests are appropriate, questions are inappropriate.
Yeah, the
you
students
get
can even
thrown away,
do them. I mean, it
revise.
happens all the time.
Okay, so you may have to do that twice minimum, all right? One as a pilot study, revise things, change them, and then do it.
And why 4?
Be-
Why 4 tests?
Because I want to, in each of those tests, I'm also going to control for factors in the environment. Like, for example, the audio. In one of the tests, I'm going to let them to use. Then they will use the voice chat feature that is incorporated in the virtual environment.
And why are you doing that?
Trying to measure how that factor affects.
But you haven't talked anything about that in your research design.